There's a lot of data available across Spotify for Artists or other DSPs, and it's often quite difficult to know what actually are the key metrics that are the most interesting and the most important one. In your opinion, what are the 2 or 3 metrics that you find are the one that people should actually look at the most?
So I think rather than there being a couple of specific data points that I would say everyone should look at, it's about piecing together all of these various bits of data to understand what's happening across the board. That said, streams per listener in Spotify for Artists is a great one to start off with. If you're coming out of that first weekend on Spotify with 4 or 5 streams per listener, then something's working quite well. You want to be looking at the save percentage and the playlist add percentage as well in Spotify for Artists. Work that out against the number of listeners that you've got on a track, not the number of streams, and then you'll get quite an accurate picture of how many people, what percentage of people are engaging in a way that shows intent to stream again. And then there's some more, you can get a little bit more creative with it. There's some nice qualitative data you can pull out of somewhere like Spotify for Artists too. Personally, I love monitoring the user playlist ads on the platform. So not just the number of additions from Spotify users into their own playlists, but looking at the type of playlist that they're adding them to and getting a sense of how they're consuming your music and what sort of situations they're bringing your music into. So you can get a really good idea of who your audience is and sort of what their approach to listening to your music is. Like you might see you're getting a load of playlist ads to playlists like Chill Vinyasa Flow, or you might find that it's like Heavy Metal Half Marathon or something like this. And you can get an understanding of where people are listening, how they're consuming, and that can give you some real nice insight into who's listening and how. And then there's some other little bits in Spotify for Artists. Like if you look for the on repeat playlist, you can see that's an algorithmic playlist that recommends to people the songs that they've been listening to the most. So you can see which of your tracks people are really sticking with and coming back to time and time again. That can give you a nice idea of what's most sticky, which tracks maybe don't have the biggest numbers but have got the most loyal listenership. There's all things like that that you can look at. I think that there's a nice part of it is being a bit creative and trying to, you've got a bit of a patchwork quilt when it comes to the data available to you. You're pulling a bit from Spotify for Artists, a bit from Apple Music for Artists, a bit from Amazon for Artists, a bit from Deezer from creators. You got your Instagram, TikTok, look on Chartmetric. You just bundle it all into one pot